Hello, Twister here. Last time we made this race Quan for the dark space setting using the era for the Rolemaster. This time I'd like to show you how to make an actual culture for these guys. First, I'll just show you something I missed last time. I've now implemented the +10 bonus that these guys gain for these skills by adding this new key, SkillSpecialBonuses. So you just have to put it inside this race key as its own set of keys, like this, and then each special bonus that you have within this category will be on its own line, enclosed by these angle brackets. For example, then we have the foraging skill in the outdoor group in the environmental category, and so on for the rest of these skills. Where you can get this group name and category names are actually in a configuration file in ERA. Let's go to the ERA configuration. Here we have groups. There you can see all the groups that are in ERA normally, and some of them that I've added there for my own house rules. Then the categories are in this category file, categories.xml. And similarly, I've added some lines here for my own games. The categories on the first and first in the category line, usually right after name. And finally, if you have some skills that you use for all your characters, those will be in the skills file, like that. There. I've also added the claw skill as an Everyman skill. Normally it would be in the special attacks category and group, but personally I'm using a house rule that I consider the close attacks to be martial arts instead. But you can of course use the rules as written, or whatever house rules you want. So let's get to making the actual culture. I've written here which skill ranks I want Quan to have, like this. First we have to make a culture file for Quan. Let's go back to ERA, the configuration, and to cultures. And I actually did this already, so I'll just remove it and make it again. For these wood elves, normally the rural men and wood elves are always here as example races. You have to change the name of the culture file into whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter because the name comes from within the file. So let's edit this file, quan.culture.xml. We have here the culture tag, within which we have things like the category. If we go to the culture page and see what the wood elves look like, this is everything we have to change here. We have to change the culture's description add the ranks for the categories and the individual skills, and for weapon skills, also languages and hobbies. And you can see the skills, the individual skills, are separately in this under this skill tag, and the categories are under this skill categories tag. Note that the weapon skills are assumed to have the same number of ranks as the weapon category itself. So if you have one skill rank in one-handed edged category, you will have one additional skill here. You can, when you add a weapon here, sword, and make it one-handed edged, then you should be able to see it here, like this. Then you can add the skill rank into whatever skill it is. Next, we have to add these skill ranks into the Quan. Yes, these skill ranks into the Quan culture XML. So that's just the boring work that has to be done. I prefer to start with the categories. One for gymnastics, 2 for brawn, 2 for endurance. 1 for awareness searching and category sense, and 2 for category senses. And as I showed in the beginning, you can get this category name in the categories file. 2 for communications, 3 for lore as usual. Then we have to add another line for martial arts. Make it strikes, because that's the name for the martial arts strikes category. They gain 2. They gain 1 in animals, 4 in environmental. They don't gain any power awareness because Quan haven't really discovered magic yet. They don't have science either. And subterfuge, stealth, they have 4. And they have the 1 almost obligatory rank in technical trade, general. And finally 2 in one-handed edged and 2 in pole arms. I'm giving them 6 language ranks, so we will put 6 here. And if you remember, this race has 2 languages. They have their own language called Quan. Let's see, we have put 8 into spoken and 4 in written. And finally they have Jaderi. It is the language of the humans in this world. 6 and 4 there. And then they have 10 hobbies, just like the elves apparently. And we can write a description. Are lion people originating from the planet or world Visridon, nomadic by nature. Oh, we have to right here category as dark space, and finally fill in all the skills that they know. Starting with climbing, which they have 1. They have sprinting as 2. I would actually give them swimming as well as 1. Let's make another row. This was sprinting, and this will become 1. Then they have alertness 4, body development 2, the usual lore skills of 3, no animal riding skill, but they do have environmental skills, I believe. Or no? No, actually we can just remove this line. They don't have any spells. They have 2 skill ranks in hiding and stalking. And finally these spear and hand axe attacks, they are actually incorporated in these. You just have to pick them up when you choose the culture, and you have to add them in this combat step, which from now is empty because I didn't pick a profession for this guy, and this has the combat companion skills here instead of the regular skills, but don't worry about that. Now let's see, I think that's not all. We still have to put here a skill rank for martial arts. So let's copy that line and put here martial arts, strikes, and claws. This is an offensive bonus skill, so we have to write here that as a classification. And let's go to Quan Race XML2, copy the table name, and put it here. It can be actually anywhere here as long as there is a space between the categories. We could put it here if we wanted to, as long as we don't duplicate it. And that's it, I think. No, actually we forgot to change the name of the race. So I think that's all. So now let's restart era. And then go to then restart it actually. Go to module selection and make a new character. Now we have a problem. We don't have a category named strikes. So I must have misremembered what's the name of that category. So let's go to configuration and find that category. Martial arts has a category named striking instead of strikes. So I have to go back to this Quan culture file and change this category name to striking here and here. And let's try again. So Ira will throw an error like that if you have done some mistakes in the configuration. Apparently there's still a problem, and I'm guessing that this should be separate. Now it worked. So let's make a new character. Let's pick Quan as race, and we'll go to the culture step. We should have a new category here called Dark Space, and go see Quan. Here we see everything we put there, and they have 6 language ranks and 10 hobby ranks. And also in the languages step, we have the languages that we put that they should have. And you can also increase these by the ranks. And finally they have 10 hobbies in the hobbies step. But you have to pick a profession so that you can actually put things here. Alright, that concludes this tutorial. Until next time, and next time I will be adding a new profession. See ya!